Hello everyone. In the last class we discussed about how we can store data in the variable, how to create variables, how data will be stored in the memory. So data will be stored in the memory in the form of bytes, right? So and then here, so what are the different kinds of data we can store in a variable? So basically the categorization will be like this: primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Primitive data types are nothing but predefinedly available in the programming language, like this one. S byte, byte, short, U short, int, long, float, double, decimal. All these are the predefined data types in the C sharp programming language. And then user defined data types are called as non-primitive data types, like arrays, like classes, objects, collections, arrays, list. So like this, user can also create his own data types, but by using primitive data types only, non-primitive data types can be built. So now first of all we are going to discuss about primitive data types in C sharp. So these are primitive, already predefinedly available in the programming language. But before going to discuss, so what is exactly data type? So here, type of data that we are going to store in a variable is called as a type actually. So the data type specify the type of data, what kind of data you are going to store in a variable, and with the size also. So here C sharp is statically typed programming language, or we can say strongly typed programming language. What exactly is strongly typed in the sense? Whenever we wanted to store a data, so this is a data, so 100 is a data. I wanted to store this data in a variable A. So but you need to inform clearly to the compiler the type of data you are going to store in this variable with the definite data type names, right? Predefinedly available. Now 100 is an integer, you can specify the type. This is called as type declaration. Type declaration. Declare the type first, and after that variable, and after equal sign then you provide data. So this is the way how we can able to store data in a variable of a C sharp programming language. Compulsory type is required. So what this type is going to do, it will fix the type for the data, right? So it can understand, compiler can understand now this data in integer format, and after that it will store this data in the variable A. But what is the size? So in the last class we discussed it that whenever the number is increasing, whenever the number is in increasing fashion, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 crore, 1 crore, billion, right? Whenever the value is increasing, the memory will also increase. You can able to observe in the last video, the number of bits will increase whenever the integer number is going to increase, right? So for 100, to store 100 it may require some 5 bits or 6 bits, and to store 200 it requires compulsory more than that, it may require some 8 bits also. So right, so here the thing is, whenever the value is increasing, the memory requirement will also increase, so that memory will get fixed, or that memory size is also fixed with the data type specification, right? And then, so coming to the C sharp data type, so basically the starting we can say what it is, data. So data can be called as literal, data can also be called as literal. Basic building blocks for the user defined data types are literals. What are the basic literals in the C sharp means, we can say number literals, number literals, or numeric literals. Literal means data. So when we deal with the integer numbers or numbers, it is called as number data. Simply we will say it as a literal. So number literal or numeric literals we can say. And after that, character literal. Generally numbers means two types will be there: integer numbers and floating point numbers. We can categorize like this: integer literals and floating point literals. Literal means data, and after that character literal, and after that string literal. So these are the basic building blocks for the data types in C sharp. Right, and then so coming to the numbers, when we are dealing with the numbers, we can deal with the two types of numbers, whole numbers and decimal numbers. Whole numbers are nothing but integer numbers without a decimal point, and floating point numbers with a decimal part. Now, so all these are the data types which will deals with the whole numbers, integer numbers. Okay then. So now here say in integers, whenever we say integers, integer may be a positive value or integer may be a negative value. So 1 is an integer, 12 is also integer which is a whole number, minus 12 is also an integer. So under integers we have negative values and positive values also. And then here the thing, the first data type name which deals with the numeric data in C sharp is SByte. The data type name in the C sharp programming language is SByte. And whenever we are discussing about the common language infrastructure in the .NET, so first of all we are going to write the code in C sharp programming language. This code will be converted into MSIL. So MSIL means Microsoft Intermediate Language, because .NET provides you the facility to write a program in so many programming languages, and there is a difference in programming language to programming language in terms of syntax. So syntax is different. Whenever syntax is different, data type names are also different in programming language to programming language. Here we are discussing about the data types in C sharp. Data types in Java will be different. That means names will be different, but the theme will be same, concept will be same, but with different names. But here, so what .NET is going to do? So .NET provides a common type for all the types from other programming language, right? So .NET supports 60 plus programming languages. For all the 60 plus programming languages, only one type is defined in the .NET. So these are the .NET data types. For each type in the C sharp, there is a equivalent data type in the .NET. Not only C sharp, it may be any other kind of programming language. Now we are discussing about C sharp. And then here the first data type under numeric is SByte. The data type name is SByte. When you declare a variable with the SByte, so let us declare a variable A with the SByte data type specification. Now, can I store 100 in this variable? Yes, we can store, because observe, what is the minimum value that you can store in A? Minus 128. What is the maximum value? 127. So I cannot store 128 in the variable A. Here you will get error, because what is the maximum value that will supported by the SByte data type is 127. So, and what is the maximum size? You can store up to 1 byte. So it supports the data which can be stored up to 1 byte only. 1 byte means 8 bit. You can store 8 bit data in this variable, right? So SByte will deals with the integers. You can store minus 128, minus 1 to minus 128, and 0 to 127. You cannot store minus 129 and later numbers, and you cannot store 128, 129, the next upcoming numbers after 127. Only this is the range of numbers which you can store with the SByte data type, and this number will fit in the 8 bits, this number will fit in the 8 bits. Completely it is 1 byte data. It occupies 1 byte of memory for this variable. Okay, and then what is the equivalent data type name in the .NET? So this one, system.SByte, and after that the next data type is byte data type. So here, whenever any data type is supporting negative numbers, this data type in this data type we can store, generally it is called as, it will store, SByte data type will store unsigned number, sorry, signed number, signed 8-bit data. SByte data type is storing signed number. Signed means negative number. Signed means negative will also include. Now, coming to the byte. So here you observe, minimum value it is starting from 0. Maximum you can store up to 255. There is no storage of negative numbers. So byte data type won't allows you to store negative numbers, which is unsigned. Unsigned 8-bit data. Here you can store unsigned numbers. So if you change this to byte data type, and you cannot store this, minus 128 cannot be stored. Now if you remove minus, you won't get any error here. And maximum you can store up to 255 only. If you increase it to 256, you will get error here, because what is the range that is supported by the byte data type 0 to 255 only. And what is the equivalent data type name in the .NET? System.byte. So in the same way, shard. So shard is signed. So 2 bytes means 2 into 8. So it is 16-bit data. So signed 16-bit data can be stored with the shard data type. The minimum value is minus 32,768 and max is 32,767. And what is the equivalent .NET type? Int 16. System.int 16. And then ushard. So shard is supporting signed numbers. Ushard won't support signed numbers. You can store only positive numbers, ranges from 0 to maximum 65,535, and the size is same 2 bytes. So u means unsigned. And then after that int. If the range is crossing this level, then we need to change the data type to int, and now we can store 4 bytes of memory. 4 bytes means 32 bits. So that's why you see .NET type is int 32. 32 represents bits, 32 bits, and then so this is the minimum value, and then this is maximum value. Whenever any data type is supporting you to store negative numbers, it is nothing but signed data you are storing. And then so int supports to store negative numbers also. So signed data we are going to store, and then uint unsigned. So there is no possibility to store negative numbers, and only you can store positive numbers up to this level. So 0 to maximum, you can store up to that number. And .NET data type is uint 32. Now here the thing, so our data is crossing this maximum limit, then you need to change the type to long. So in the long data type we can store 8 bytes of data. 8 byte means 8 into 8. You can store 64-bit data. So that's why you can observe .NET type is int 64, because you are going to store only integers. Wherever you observe, all are integers only. And then so what is the minimum value that you can store? So minus 2 power 63. So you multiply minus 2 63 times, you will get this number, minimum number. And then so max 2 power 63 minus 1. So and then after that long. So still we are crossing this limit means, so change the data type to long. Now you can store 8 bytes of data only, but with the maximum limit of positive number, this one 0 to maximum number. And that .NET data type is uint 64. So this is about complete data types which are available in C# under numeric. And that too integer literals. All are integer literals only. Okay, in the next video we will discuss about floating literals, character literals, and string literals.